Now, there is a reason why I get excited about having these kinds of conversations, because they speak to all of us. And whether it's saving for that dream house, maybe our kids' education, or simply to retire comfortably, we all have a financial goal that we are working towards or would desperately like to be pouring energy and time into. And whilst wishing and dreaming for more money to magically appear is one thing and seems to be quite a South African thing, we can all take action today to help ourselves in the most practical way. And it starts with an honest look at our finances, building a budget and then sticking to it. Some consistency. People are joining us this morning to help us budget our way towards our financial freedom is a very seasoned financial planning consultant from the incredible Alexforbes, who have been amazing over the last couple of weeks. So please welcome Naomi Chabangu to the couch.
Thank you, Graham. Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to start with the budget itself, because that's at the heart of what we need to achieve here. So in your world, what does a budget look like? What are those key components, and how do we start creating our own budget?
So I always say start simple. You calculate all your income, put it in one bracket, then calculate your expenses, less your expenses from the income, then you'll see what surplus you have. Then when you have that surplus, you can now direct it in other purposes like your emergency income or your savings.
And boy, hasn't the world taught us about emergency income over the last 5 years.
Definitely.
I think everyone in one way or another is still readjusting, maybe not recovering, but readjusting, recalibrating after what we've all been through financially. Everyone's budget is going to look different, and we all have different pressure points and things that motivate us. So in your experience, what should we be considering when looking at our own budget? What do we really need to be aware of?
Just the first thing, be true to your financial situation. You know the needs and the wants that are specific to you and to your life. And then after that, you can see, okay, then I can now draft down my budget. Even if it means that, because in the last 5 years it has been tough, even if it means that you have to cut down on certain things, it will come to where you sit down and you do your budget, and then you see that I'm not living the life that is within my budget, then you have to cut down. There's nothing wrong with that.
You can make those choices, but they need to be informed choices.
Exactly.
Expenses are a dirty beast, because often you don't notice the money going out until you do a hard kind of look at what has come in, what has gone out. But with expenses, you might not notice that you're spending $30 a day on a coffee that adds up to a few hundred, that adds up to a few thousand. In your mind, what is the best way to track expenses?
What I would say is, put money aside for unforeseen stuff, or put money for extras. There'll be a column for extras where you say, okay, if I am craving this, because there's times where you'd be craving
and sometimes
something.
It's important. It means something to you in that moment.
In that moment, or you're
Exactly.
feeling down and you really want to have that little chocolate. So actually, if you have that extra, that column for extra, you can take money from that, so that you know that you're not juggling out of your budget as well.
What are some of the big pitfalls or the dangers that we need to be aware of when we are laying out our budget?
The first pitfall is not having a budget at all.
For sure.
And thinking, because what I realize when I talk to a lot of people, they think, oh, budgeting brings me a lot of anxiety, because obviously everybody wants to spend money however they want to. But at the end of the day, you have to sit down, talk to yourself, and tell yourself that, I want to live this way. And I don't want to be stuck in a cycle where now, half monthly, I don't have money, So you just sit down with yourself and say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to be consistent with it. And if you need help, call a financial advisor. We at Alexforbes pride ourselves with that. We help clients with every single thing concerning finances, and budgeting is one of them.
I'm so glad you've said that, because I think very often when we want to go to a financial advisor, we think that we've got to have it all worked out or we're going to be judged. What kind of experience will we get working with a financial advisor from Alexforbes? How does that process work, and will you help us with those, even the most rudimentary steps of just setting up that budget?
We as financial advisors are like, when you are sick, we become your doctor. You understand? We sit down with you, we break it down with you. You don't have to come with us with a plan. We give you that plan. We listen to your personal circumstances and say, you know what, according to what you have given me, I think this is the plan, or I recommend this plan. So you have to come the way you are. Whether you think you are the baddest or you think you have not budgeted for years, we can solve that. There's always a solution. That's why I'm saying, as Alexforbes, we pride ourselves in giving solutions to people. It starts with a budget.
And I can guarantee, and I've never worked in your space, but I can see just from your face that you have seen things that most of us can't even dream of. So don't think you're going to get judged on your lack of financial acumen. You're going to find, like you've quite rightly put, that GP, that financial GP that is there at your bedside when you need them most, maybe when you need to counterbalance what you're missing out. And I think the most important investment we can make in this space is the investment in ourselves by investing in the time spent with an Alexforbes financial advisor. If I can glean this much just from a few moments, imagine where you could be. And the consultations are free.
Definitely.
You can sign up today at alexforbes.com. Do something today that your future self, maybe your kids, will thank you for. But it all starts with that first step. And in my case, a new budget for next month.